Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad, and this is the 45 match week, whatever. These are the weird matches that didn't fit anywhere else. A lot of teams that have matches in hand, and yet another postponement today due to the FA Cup. Southampton opting to play in the FA Cup and winning, and then I forget who they were supposed to play, to be honest with you, today. That's okay. We're not talking about that match. We're talking about tomorrow's match. First of which is West Ham and Arsenal. Just another London derby. Arsenal took the reverse back at the Emirates in September. That was match week 2. Arsenal won their first 2 matches, leaving them third in the table, and West Ham started 0-2, leaving them 16th. Since then, a lot has changed. West Ham now see themselves just 3 points off of the top 4, and Arsenal are now 7 points behind at 10th place, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both winners of 3 of 5, but Hammers coming off the 1-0 loss to United. Arsenal with the 2-1 win over a very listless-looking Spurs, who we'll speak about in a minute. Moyes and Arteta have a really good, interesting relationship, with Moyes having brought Arteta into the Premier League way back in 2005. A lot of respect between these two, but who needs this more at this point?
I'd probably say West Ham. Arsenal they have the Europa League to hang their hat on. And I think even if they flop out of the Europa League and finish in 10th in the Premier League, it doesn't really change their long-term objective of this team needs a long time to rebuild itself from the ground up under Arteta. Versus West Ham, I don't want to say that they're not. This isn't sustainable for them, but I don't think next year, if fans are back, if football's back to normal, quote unquote, West Ham are one of the teams I think benefit the most from having no fans out of anybody. So when it goes back to the normalcy, I think that it could be a situation where West Ham will find themselves not back where they belong, but lower down in the table. So they have a legitimate chance at Champions League football, which is a very rare thing for West Ham. You need these points, and you need to keep the pressure on Chelsea because you go level with them. They still have pretty much a 1-point edge in terms of the 9-goal difference advantage they currently hold over you. So this is a big important one for West Ham, I think. For Arsenal, though, I might give them just the slightest of edges. But it really is going to be a very close one. I'm constantly wondering with this West Ham team, how far can they push it? How strong can they keep going? But I think this is a season where they need to capitalize, and this is one of those matches they need to capitalize on.
I think with West Ham, what's interesting about them is they are so strong with that 2 guys in the midfield with Souček and
Rice.
Declan Rice. They are just so good. I'm tired. I'm really excited. I'm going to get the jab here in about a half an hour. I apologize. But my mind I'm very excited. But I think even with fans, with that midfield, granted it's thin, they've played so many minutes and one injury, and you're a completely different club. But even with that midfield with fans, I still think they're a pretty good side.
Are they 5th, 4th material? I don't think so. Maybe 8th is about where I'd guess if we were to guess next season's table right now. But
they probably need more up front in the long term.
Probably do as well, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Arsenal, I don't know. I really like to see West Ham pull this off. But
it's going to be exciting regardless.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. Second up match tomorrow, Villa and Spurs. Spurs coming off of, we mentioned, this very listless performance against Arsenal. They had won 3 straight prior to that. They're 8th on 45 points. Villa coming off of 2 really disappointing draws, I think you have to say, if you're them. You draw to the Wolves 0-0, and you draw to Newcastle 1-1. Leaving them 9th on 41 points. They've only played 27, so they've got 2 matches in hand. Spurs should get this one, but I don't see them being able to do this. I think Villa have this.
I mean, especially after that Dinamo Zagreb result for Spurs.
I forgot about that. 3.
It's not a fun time for them. You bottle a 2-goal home advantage going into the second leg away from home.
And 3-0.
Yeah, the Premier League is not your last hope for Europe, which is not something you would have expected to say going into that leg. 3 points, though, pushes you level with West Ham, and it would put you into 6th, clear of Liverpool and Everton. You need those points.
West Ham lose.
Yeah, assuming West Ham lose, you go level with them. And you actually pass them on goal difference because goal difference is very good. You need this result if you're Spurs. As do Villa. They're, I think, a similar situation to West Ham where how sustainable is this? I'm not sure. I think that they're a very good side. But I do question that when some other sides are back on their feet, the fans are back. Villa they have a lot of talent, but this year has been great so far. You've had a lot of results, and 27 matches in, you find yourself ninth with a chance to go and close that lead on Spurs. So I think both these teams have a really great advantage of, are you comfortable where you are, or do you want to have to push your goals a bit further forward? In the last few weeks, I think Spurs have to. I think Villa can. So I think it's a much more comfortable spot for Villa. But I think the requisite nature, I think it's going to be a bounce back for Spurs after that Zagreb result. I think if Mourinho's going to stay around and he's actually going to change his club, that's going to be the catalyst for it.
Grealish, yes or no? Is he enough to make a difference for Villa? I think we're assuming he's not playing, but they're saying he's a late.
He'd be a big addition. Obviously you don't need to say how good he is at creating. But Spurs are a bit shaky in defense, so they may be able to create regardless, even if Grealish isn't there.
I like Villa in this one. And I think you like Spurs. So
yeah.
We shall see. I like when we're on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for these last two of the ones that didn't quite fit. Trying to catch up with City at the top of the table, both in terms of matches played as well as points accumulated. Good luck. Probably not going to happen for any of the other 19 chasing sides. But that is Jack. I am Conrad. This has been the 45. Please do subscribe. Look for us on the Twitter. Give some comments. Tell us what you think. Look for us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.